All right, we are live. Welcome everyone. I'm excited to be here with Squash today. We are going to be talking about some video games, what we've been playing, a little bit about the news, and a little bit about some of the upcoming releases. So, welcome, Squash. How are you doing?
I am doing good. Thank you for asking. I am excited to talk about games and stuff.
Me too. Hey, Zeptimus, how are you? Um, yeah, so let's just jump in. You want to go first?
Sure, I can talk a bit more about Borderlands, I guess.
How is
Um,
Borderlands going?
well, I finally beat the main campaign after a while. Um, I think I put in maybe 40 hours at this point, maybe
Okay.
more. Um, I've maxed out my character. Um, I've kind of done a bit of the end game, and it's a bit more underwhelming than I anticipated, which is kind of sad. Uh, but I also started up the new game plus, so yeah.
What what is involved in Endgame? Are there like raids or how
It's
does it
kind of
work?
just once you beat the main campaign, you can kind of go back and explore all the planets and kind of 100% things, but also new side quests or a single new side quest opens up on each individual planet, where basically you go and interact with this one thing. Um, and then you then get the option to travel to a new kind of small planet in which you kind of are timed and have to run through this kind of gauntlet type thing to the end and uh, kill this boss. Um, and then you get loot at the end, but the loot was pretty lackluster in my experience. So
How many how many planets are there? Or how many
uh,
locations are there?
five, I think,
And
5 or 6.
one of them is Pandora.
Yeah, yeah. You start off on Pandora, and there's kind of a swampy type planet, a cyberpunky one, kind of a long lost. Uh, I don't know, a planet you kind of hear about in legends and stuff.
Okay.
And there's another one I'm forgetting about, but it exists.
Do you feel like because I feel like that was one of the big things that everyone was excited about, and that was definitely one of the
Yeah.
things I was excited about, like, because at first it was just kind of looking like the same old Borderlands, but then you start seeing the different locations, and I was like, oh, well, that's something new and feels different. Do you feel like it's different enough, or um,
Yeah, I think the new planets definitely keep the game fresh kind of as you play through it because you're constantly meeting new characters and even meeting old characters from the previous games, and kind of just not being in the same desert type biome the whole game just already like puts it a step up above the older games because it's just uh, more fresh, I think.
okay?
And
Um,
there's like almost infinite amounts of like enemy types you come across. There's easily like probably the most varied kind of enemy roster in this game of all three games. It's pretty impressive.
do you feel like most enemies, like your level and under, are you able to one shot them with a sniper rifle?
Um, if they're like a level or two below me, then yeah. Um, but like if you're going up against enemies a level or two above you,
Mhm.
um, you might struggle a bit, especially if you're playing solo the whole time. Which is why I kind of did a lot of the side stuff to get my level up and get some better gear as I was going through, rather than kind of rushing through the main story.
That's kind of good. I mean, I like hearing that because, well, I'll talk about. We can talk more about Borderlands 3, but I'll talk about a game that I've been playing, which is Borderlands 1.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
um, so yeah, I keep getting tempted to get Borderlands 3 because I've had a weird history with Borderlands. I guess I loved Borderlands 1 when it came out. Um, and I don't know, it was just unique at the time, and I liked
Hmm.
the art style, and there wasn't anything really like it. I remember everyone was waiting for Rage, the first Rage, to come out,
Oh yeah.
and then Borderlands came out before that, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is kind of like Rage but better."
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so yeah, I played through Borderlands 1 when it first came out. Absolutely loved it. I played through all the DLC as it came out. I loved all the DLC. And Borderlands 2 came out, and for whatever reason, I just could not get on board with Borderlands 2.
Mm.
I don't know what it was, because I know that most people love Borderlands 2 much more.
Hmm.
I think maybe so I loaded up an old save from Borderlands 2 as I was playing Borderlands 1, and I think it's just a little overwhelming for me because I loaded it up and there were like 20 quests that I had.
Hmm.
And, Borderlands 1, I felt like did a better job at introducing the quests to you and not just overwhelming you with quests.
Yeah.
Um, you didn't have as many, but yet you still had enough to like where I oftentimes the story quest would be like 2 levels above me, 1 or 2 levels above me, and then it would kind of force me to go through and do some of the side stuff, which was perfectly fine. That's kind of what I wanted. But
Hmm.
with Borderlands 2, I loaded it up and there were like 10 quests that were like, I don't know, 5 or 6 levels below me, and I was like, I don't even just, why would I do these? There's no point in really doing these.
Yeah.
Um,
Borderlands 3, it is very much the same as Borderlands 1 in that sense. Like, there's maybe 4 or 5 at most side quests per planet, I think. Um,
okay.
maybe a bit more if you kind of explore about the place, but there's a lot more. Uh, I guess it's a lot less overwhelming in terms of quests than Borderlands 2 is.
What's up, Fraternal? We're going to talk about Link's Awakening, a little bit about it. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, though. I really want to check that game out. Um, okay, so let's see. I was going to say something else about Borderlands. Oh yeah, I guess the other thing that kind of makes me more excited about Borderlands 3 is it's more about the vault hunting, which I don't know why. I know it's like a super simple story, but I really just liked the idea of you were a vault hunter in Borderlands 1. You were going after a vault that only opened every 200 years, and like there were all these other, characters that were going after it. Um and I guess maybe that's part of my problem with Borderlands 2 is it's like you're put in and like all of a sudden they're searching for more vaults.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, there's only one that opens every 200 years. How are there already more vaults? So
Yeah.
I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me. But I think playing Borderlands 1, so I finished the campaign last night actually.
Oh, cool.
And I think I might try to go back into Borderlands 2 and start with a new character
Hmm.
and go through it now that I'm just kind of in the Borderlands mode. Although I still want to play the DLC for Borderlands 1 because I think it's really good.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm glad that people are enjoying Borderlands 3. And apparently, there's been a few controversies about Borderlands, I feel like, but
Oh,
apparently
for
it's
sure.
doing pretty good. Did you see that it's sold 5 million copies so far?
Yeah. In literally its first 5 days, which
Yeah,
is pretty insane.
that is insane. Also, I think they said the highest or the best launch for 2K on PC,
Yeah, like ever.
which is pretty crazy considering that
I
it's an
think I
Epic
saw it was.
exclusive.
I think I saw it was 2K's like biggest launch ever,
Hmm.
not just on PC, which is
Oh, not
even
just on
more
PC. That is
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
What's up, Frog? Hi, French. Welcome in, guys. We're talking about Borderlands right now. Frog says if you get through 2, you think you'll be burnt out on Borderlands before getting to 3. It's very
Our modest
possible.
fellowship expands.
Yeah.
Praise the sub.
That's what I'd be worried about.
Yeah, it's very possible. I think that's kind of my plan though, because I don't really want to buy Borderlands 3 at full price, so I'll probably wait for it to drop in price, or maybe by the time I'm excited to play it again, I will be playing or it'll be time for the Steam release, so I can get it on Steam.
That's fair enough.
Brian, thank you so much for the resub. Thank you for 4 months. Drawing a blank on anything witty to put here. Hey, that works. A friend said the whole franchise broke $1 billion in revenue. I don't
Yeah,
doubt
I
that.
saw that.
I mean, 5 million copies is what? Let's say 5 million times 60. That's $300,000 right there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hi Vino, long time no see. How are you? Yeah, $300 million. That's crazy. Yeah, it's one of those things that if you like Borderlands, I think you're gonna like Borderlands 3. It's not anything super revolutionary, but
Yeah.
I don't think it really needs to be because obviously there's a lot of people that are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about Borderlands 3 or
Uh,
Borderlands in general?
I think if you like the vault hunting aspect of Borderlands, then Borderlands 3 is definitely the best one in terms of that side of things, and kind of the awe of the bosses that guard these vaults and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Plus, there's some quality of life updates and things like that.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I've heard so many people talk about the sliding is like one of the
hmm
biggest things that they like.
Yeah, movement is just so much better in Borderlands 3. Like that, you can get character mods that like up your slide speed by 90 to 100%, and you could just slide super fast. Uh, and it's like you're constantly jumping and sliding to move quick, and
Hmm.
it's just fun to do.
That's good. Cool. I'm glad for people that are enjoying that. I think I will definitely play it at some point, but
hmm
honestly, I really enjoyed Borderlands 1. um I started one of the DLCs last night. I started the Halloween themed DLC.
hmm
And I think there's 4 DLCs total for that, so I'm excited to run through
Yeah,
those.
I think there's 4 main ones for each Borderlands game.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
Um
yeah,
yeah, well that's Borderlands. It's more Borderlands.
exactly.
Um all right. You want to talk about Modern Warfare beta cuz I played a little bit about that a little bit of that too.
Yeah, sure.
I am very
So
very excited for the new Call of Duty.
I was very, very excited, and now I'm a
Uh-oh.
little bit less excited. Uh, but that's like purely multiplayer side. That's not like the campaign or
Yeah.
the co-op side kind of stuff side. So
Okay, that's fair. Because yeah, to me, like I'm never super excited about the multiplayer stuff in Call of Duty, which I know is what most people buy it for. But
yeah,
Call of Duty has always been a single player first game for me. I started out literally playing the very first Call of Duty when it came out, and have played every single one except for was it Call of Duty 3? Whichever one was like a console exclusive. I never played that because never had a
oh,
console.
I'm not sure which one was ever console exclusive because I played kind of all of them up until Black Ops 2 or 3, maybe like exclusively on console. So
Really?
yeah, because I didn't get a PC till 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I feel like when Call of Duty, well, I guess definitely when 4 came out, like everybody was playing that on console at that point. Um, but so anyway, let's talk about Modern Warfare. So for anybody that doesn't know, uh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's not Call of Duty 4 or not Call of Duty Remastered. It's just Call of Duty Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yep.
Set to release when October 25th, I think.
Same day as the Outer Worlds, which I think is the 25th. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's kind of I guess, a reimagining of Modern Warfare. Um, I, to me, just everything about this looks good. I think the Modern Warfare series is probably my favorite out of all of them,
Yeah,
and
for me too.
from like a story perspective and just gameplay perspective, there's not
hmm
all the crazy double jumps and futuristic stuff, which is fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like more of a grounded gameplay, I guess. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the multiplayer because you played it. What did you think?
Well, I was going into it hoping that it would feel a bit more like Insurgency, if you ever played that, or maybe Siege.
Mm-hmm.
But it still very much felt like COD in
It
how
feels like
fast
Call of
paced it
Duty.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but like the improvements to the how the gunplay feels, and I think movement in general is kind of what I expected it to be. So that's good.
I
I was just expecting a more kind of slow, realistic multiplayer than what it is.
Do you think they're going to have any special modes that would be available for?
I think they've already confirmed there's going to be like 15 plus different like multiplayer modes.
The
Um,
problem is everyone just ends up playing team deathmatch
oh yeah,
um
or the big game mode ground
yeah.
war, which is like the 32v32,
Hmm.
which was fun when I played it. It was like I don't know, Call of Duty but Battlefield. But I still felt the map was kind of small
Yeah. I didn't
when
ever
I played it.
I didn't play the 32 versus 32. I played just regular team deathmatch and then I played the 2v2, which I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, the
Um
2v2 stuff was fun.
do we know, are they going to have, is it gun game? Is that what they call it? Where
Yeah,
you
gun
start out
game.
with a pistol and
Yeah,
then
and
you
you kind
get
of work your way
currency.
through to the.
I
Yeah,
really, really liked that.
I do too. That's been one
Um,
of my kind of go-to modes for a long time in COD.
That was really fun. I played a lot of that. Was it in 3 that they introduced that?
I'm not sure. What, Modern Warfare 3? Or just Call of Duty 3?
No, Black Ops 3. It hasn't
Oh,
been in
Black
for
Ops
that
3.
long, has it?
I remember it in Black Ops 2.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even no, I definitely remember it in Black Ops 1 for sure.
Oh,
So I
wow.
mean, it's been there
Did
for a
they
while.
maybe they took it out and put it back in or something, because I could have sworn that I remember them saying like gun game is back or something like that.
But
Um
yeah, I don't know.
So one of the biggest things that I'm excited for, Funky Frog, I know he's joking, but he's saying Call of Duty is always for consoles. One of the biggest things that I'm excited about is this is fully crossplay.
Yep.
Xbox, PS4, PC, we are all united, which is the greatest thing ever.
Yep. I
um,
love it.
I love it too, and it's so cool to like load into a game and you see like a little icon next to people's names, and it shows if they're playing on, PC, PS4, or Xbox, and it shows whether they're playing with a controller or mouse and keyboard. Now I can even see when somebody kills me with a controller and feel even worse because I'm playing with
Yeah.
the mouse and keyboard, and that really shows just how bad I am at Call of Duty. But yeah, I think that that's really, really cool, and I hope that this is like breaking down the walls of exclusivity as far as crossplay goes.
Yeah, I really think it will, because this is kind of the first time it's gone crossplay has become mainstream, other than kind of in Fortnite, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, and it means, like, for example, normally in COD, in the older ones at least, the multiplayer base would kind of it would die out pretty quickly. Like within a couple months, there'd be a low amount of players compared to like the amount on console. So with crossplay in there, if they even if they add it to like more games, then with like maybe a lower player base on PC, it doesn't really matter because you'd be playing with console players instead.
Yeah, yeah, that's really, really going to be good, and I feel like that's going to help longevity. Because, like you said, a lot of times, especially on PC, um, the game would just kind of die out, and there wouldn't really be anybody to play with.
Hmm.
Hey, Reality, how are you? Let's see. Anything else about Call of Duty? I guess there's probably some people that are worried about, like, people with PC or mouse and keyboard having an advantage, but I'm pretty sure that there's an option that you can like switch to where if you don't want to play with people that are playing with mouse and keyboard, you can switch that off, right?
Yeah, you can. It's an option for console players. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Now there's not going to
I
be
think
any zombies mode in this game, right?
no, they're replacing zombies with like a co-op type tactical mode. I think.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I'm not sure the official name for it, but
So everybody was thinking maybe it's going to be Spec Ops. Do we
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if that's confirmed or not?
I think that is what it is.
Spec Ops was really cool. They gave you like all these different missions to do that you could play through co-op.
Yeah, this article says it's Modern Warfare Spec Ops mode is a welcomed return to the franchise from fans, originally introduced in Modern Warfare 2. So
Nice.
it's a returning thing, which is pretty cool.
Hey Ruben, yeah, I loved those too. I think everybody enjoyed those.
Hmm.
Hardcore mode. I'm sure they'll have hardcore modes for multiplayer for like team deathmatch and that kind of stuff. Do you ever play the hardcore modes?
I think I will in this one because I prefer the more realistic type, uh, like death time or whatever you call it.
I kind of like playing those too, where you don't have any HUD or,
Yeah.
um, it's super realistic. Those are fun.
You see the change they made in the beta. It was like within 2 days, they implemented the mini map back into the game because of fan feedback. Because initially there was like a compass along the top of the screen, and that was kind of replacing the mini map. And then they got a whole bunch of complaints and put the mini map back in the game within
In
like 2 days of the beta being out.
hardcore or just like regular?
No, in like regular.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it was kind of. I kind of wish they just stick with the compass at the top rather than mini map, but
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
would you still get the mini map when you got your
Yeah,
UAV?
with the UAV, you'd still get the minimap. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like I never really even used the mini map. Maybe this is why I'm not good at Call of Duty. But I never really used the mini map until someone gets the UAV, and even then, like it's not really that helpful to me, at least. I don't know because people are moving around so much.
Hmm.
But I'm really bad at Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's
um, yeah, I'm just mainly excited for the single player, and Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I did play a lot of the multiplayer, just very casually,
hmm.
and I think I could get back into that, just going through it casually, but I'll never be
Yeah.
good.
I'm excited for the more solo kind of side of it, whether it be the Spec Ops or the
Hmm.
campaign.
I hope you can do the Spec Ops solo. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
you could in Modern Warfare 2.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, hopefully you can. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That's only like a month away, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane
October is just going to be insane.
for sure.
Um, Anything else we want to say about Call of Duty?
I think that's it, pretty much.
Let's see. I'll talk really briefly about Hitman 2, and then we'll
Okay.
save the two other games. We have one for each. Yeah, I've still been playing Hitman 2. I love that game.
Hmm.
Um, we'll talk just a little bit in the news. There's the last content for the expansion pass is coming out tomorrow. It's a brand new
Nice.
map, brand new location,
Hmm.
with a bunch of new missions. That game just, I don't know, it just keeps pulling me back in. There's just so much stuff to do in it. They have what I've been doing lately is the escalation missions, which
Hmm.
are really fun to do. They give you an objective like uh, you know you'll start out with something easy like take out this one target, and then the next thing will be like take out this one target wearing a certain disguise, and then the next one will be like take out two targets wearing this disguise only using your piano wire or something like that. And so they get harder and harder, and you get unlocks for doing those, and it's just fun. I love that game. Um,
Yeah, you're gonna make me buy it someday. I think
oh
from
man,
all the good things. say
the
about it.
the multiplayer mode. If you buy it, we got to play some of the multiplayer mode. The Ghost game, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's really really fun too. You start out on the same map. I think you have the same equipment. Funky Frog, who I think is still in chat, he and I played it together, and that was really fun. But you start out on the same map, same equipment, and you have the same target to kill. You're both in your own game, but you can see like a ghost of the other player, and you are given a target to kill, and whoever kills the target first and hides the body gets a point. So it's like you're trying to rush to kill the person, but you don't want to kill them and like get seen, because if you're seen or if you're killed, then you lose the point.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's like the first person to 5 wins, and it is so much fun.
That sounds pretty fun, to be honest.
It is really fun. Hey Frog, are we tied, or are you? Did you beat me 2 times and I beat you 1? We had some fun playing that though. But yeah, I really, really love Hitman 2. I really, really hope that there's going to be a Hitman 3, because I heard that Hitman 2 did not sell very well. But I'm hoping that, now that they're independent, that they don't really need to sell quite as much as they used to when they were with Square.
Yeah. I definitely think like the Hitman franchise is still going places.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think so. Ruben is asking, is that DLC? It is. I'm pretty sure it's part of the base game. Yeah, I'm almost positive it's part of the base game, that multiplayer mode.
I think any bonus maps for that mode would probably be part of the expansion pass, but the mode itself is definitely part of the base game.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So you've been playing Greedfall?
Like an hour of it. I figured I'd put that in there because I haven't really been playing much in general this week, but I played a bit of Greedfall, and it's okay.
Okay.
It's definitely better than Technomancer, which is good for spiders because shows they're like improving, which is a good sign. The world so far is pretty interesting. The writing and voice acting is great, but the facial animations are a little bit dodgy.
That was
but
that was your biggest thing
Yeah.
for not really wanting it, right?
Yeah, kind of seeing all the videos and the reviews, it was kind of everyone's big gripe about it is that the atrocious lip syncing kind of brings you out of the experience a bit. But when I did play it, I had a stream on kind of in the background, so I during the dialogue, I was kind of just reading the subtitles and not paying attention to their mouths, so
Okay.
that was handy.
I used to do that in The Witcher 1, because there's so much dialogue in The Witcher 1, and I mean, you want to talk about bad facial animations.
Yeah.
Like, I still love The Witcher 1, but yeah, it was pretty rough. The voice acting was good, but facial animations were pretty rough.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same for Greedfall. The voice acting is definitely there, but the facial animations just aren't all that good. But outside of the facial animations, the combat's pretty enjoyable when it works. It's similar to Dragon Age in that it's real time, but there's a pause mechanic in which you can kind of select your target and then select kind of which combat move you want to do, or whether you want to use a potion or kind of cast a spell on someone. But you can also kind of just completely disregard the pause system and do everything in real time, and you're kind of dodging about the place, and you can parry people and their attacks. But I'm playing as a mage, so early on in the game, mana is kind of a big problem for me. So having kind of a melee weapon that I can switch to in combat is handy because there's no stamina system, so I can kind of just batter people with my melee weapon while my mana recharges, which is handy.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, there's different classes that you get to choose. I don't really know anything about the story, so how does it start out?
Basically, you're kind of this. You're part of some royal family, on this island called Serene, and basically there's a sickness that's spread in this city called like the Matacloria or Matacloria, something like that.
Midichlorians.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't know.
being careful not to say that. Um, but yeah, there's this disease going around that's kind of killing everyone. And there's this island that people have been gossiping about, kind of out across the seas, where your cousin, who's also part of the royal family, is kind of going to become the new leader of. And so you're basically going out there to liberate it, and you're kind of his right hand man in it. But the game for the first few hours is kind of set in this serene city, and you kind of have to go and say goodbye to everyone and make all these kind of finishing plans before you set out on this boat trip. Um, and it's
So
kind of it's pretty enticing when you start it because you kind of want to see you want to because the world building in the game is very good, so the atmosphere is great. The kind of how dark and dingy the settings are is it makes it feel more gritty, which is nice. And then you're also wanting to go and explore this new island, which is good incentive to kind of keep playing the game and keep going.
So how do they kind of introduce or make sense that you're creating your own character, or do you create your own character?
Um, you kind of you can mess around with his face, but you can't change his name.
Okay.
And then similar to kind of all RPGs, you select your starting couple stats and attributes and skill points and whatever in your kind of starting class, and then you're kind of just chucked right into it. There's a combat tutorial, um, kind of within the first 5 or 10 minutes, which gets you used to whatever kind of class you've just picked, and then there's an option to rechange your class if you want to mess about with other stuff. But
And you can only play as a male, or can you play as a
no,
female?
you can play as a female, yeah.
Okay. Um, and so you said you're playing as a mage.
Yeah, I'm playing kind of the wizard mage type class.
Gotcha.
Yeah, rather than kind of the average knight type character.
Okay. Cool.
A mage is pretty cool so far, and some of the skills that seem to like come up later in the game seem pretty OP, like most mages in RPGs. So.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely sounds good for like a double A game. Um,
Hmm.
I still definitely want to check it out at some point.
Yeah,
And
I'd wait for a price drop or two.
yeah. Um, and it's what, $50 normally?
I
50
think
US
so.
dollars.
I got it pretty cheap, which is why I gave in. But
Okay. And it's not super long either, right? I think it's supposed to be like 25-ish hours.
if you just kind of beeline the story, it's 25 to 30 hours, I think.
Okay.
But if you incorporate side quests and kind of doing all the companion quests and making the right decisions and stuff, then it can get into the 40s and 50s, I expect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian says the biggest problem I've heard about the game was the world populations and excessive asset reuse. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard
I've
that
heard about a
too.
lot of reused assets throughout the game, but I'm literally in the starting area, so
I've heard
I
there's
haven't really
like
seen any of that.
3 main cities and they almost all look alike or something like that.
I think there's three main cities. One of them's kind of different to the other two, but I know that all the cities kind of look the same.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, I think part of what is so jarring is the game looks really, really good some of the times, but then there's some things that just kind of feel out of place, like the bad lip sync and like the reuse of assets. And so it kind of like it looks so good, but then you see, reusing of assets and that kind of stuff in it. It
Hmm.
feels just a little out of place. But sometimes it looks really good.
Yeah, it's a bit weird like that.
Cool. Anything else to say about Greedfall?
Um, Not really. Hopefully, I'll have more to say next week if I decide to play some more.
Do they have any DLC planned or anything for that?
I personally have no idea.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do bring some out though, because the game seems to have sold pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for them.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do in the future. If they're kind of progressing at this good a kind of speed in terms of how good their games are.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess the last game that we have to talk about that I've been playing is A Plague Tale: Innocence. I finally started playing this game. I've been wanting to play it ever since it came out because I heard such good things about it. A Plague Tale is about a girl set in France who loses her mother and father to the English invaders, and there's a terrible plague that's going around. There's also some supernatural stuff that's going around. And it's kind of a stealth game, or I would say it is mostly a stealth game. But it's really, really good. I really, really am liking it so far. There's a few things that you can tell are kind of a little double A-ish as far as the gameplay. Some of the animations are a little weird. But overall, I think the stealth gameplay is really good. It's really well implemented. And the pacing is really, really well done in this game. I feel like some of the areas could drag out a little bit, but everything just feels really well paced. And I don't feel like, as soon as I start to think this section is maybe feeling a little long, it's like, it's over and you're going on to the next chapter.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, the sound in this game is unbelievably good.
It is really good.
I don't know if I've heard another game that has such good like directional audio, and just really good surround sound. If you have like a surround sound system or a headset or something like that.
Yeah, it has got really good sound. How far through are you?
I'm on the, I think, 8th chapter. So I think I'm about halfway through. I think there's like 16 or 17 chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good though. The story is really intriguing. The writing, dialogue is good.
I'm glad you like it.
I like everything about it. I'm excited to play more, and I'm excited to finish it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my top games of this year. It really kind of blew me away out of nowhere.
Unbelievably beautiful game too.
Oh, for sure.
Really, really pretty. There is something that's weird. I don't know if you felt this, but I get a perfect 60 frames a second on it, but it feels sometimes like, I don't know if it's frame timing or frame pacing or whatever, but it feels like I'm not getting 60 sometimes, and it feels just a little jittery to me.
Yeah, I remember some areas in particular being a bit like that. And I know what you mean, but it wasn't a huge issue for me personally when I played through.
Yeah, it's not too bad, and I mean, it's not like a first-person shooter or anything that you have to have super high FPS on. But yeah, it just feels a little weird to me. Did you play with a mouse and keyboard, or did you play with the controller?
I think I played with controller.
One of my complaints, which happens to so many games, is you can't move slow with the keyboard. Like there's only like walking or running. There's no real in between. Whereas with the controller, you can move the stick and change your speed. I really wish that they would get better options for that on PC. If you're playing with a keyboard.
Slow walking games.
Yeah. I'm just saying, Splinter Cell did it perfect. You just roll the mouse, change the speed at which he moves. But yeah, that's really my only complaints about it. Just a couple of technical issues, I guess. Brian said he honestly scoffed at this game when he saw it, but been watching you play it, and you were impressed by it. Yeah, it's really good. Also, it's free on Origin Access, the higher tier, the Premier Edition.
Premier. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to play through it, I don't think it's a game that is going to have a bunch of replay value. So if you want to just buy a month of that, it's $15 and you can play through the game. I think that's a really good deal.
Yeah, that's super worth it.
Yeah, I'm excited to finish it and see how it ends up.
I hope they make a sequel, to be honest.
I don't know how it ends, so
I mean, it doesn't end like that, but they could do something in the same world.
The
Well, it might not
universe
work.
is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's not free, I guess. It's yeah. I guess that depends on how you look at it. Pay $15 and get it and play through it. Ruben says there's an analog keyboard. Somebody was telling me about that. Does it have like are the actual keys analog? Like you press slow and then it registers that, or is it just like a thumbstick? Because I have a keypad which has a analog stick on it, but I haven't ever seen a keyboard that the actual keys are analog. Key depth. That's interesting. Have you seen that, Squash?
I haven't, but it sounds pretty interesting.
It sounds expensive too.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I think that's all the games that we've been playing. What's everyone else playing in chat? I'm curious what everyone else is playing. The further you press, the faster. Does that work with all games? Like, do they have to, I don't know, make the game specifically to work for that, or does it just kind of register like a controller would? Reality says it doesn't work on all games. Okay, yeah, that would definitely be kind of a downside. French is playing the Troubleshooter game that he was telling me about. That game looks really interesting. It looks kind of like a XCOM like game. I've got that on my list. He posted it in Discord. Let me find the link.
I think I've just found it on Steam.
I think you posted that in game suggestions, didn't you? Yeah.
It's kind of got a Japanese anime type style to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Korean XCOM like game with more focus on story and RPG elements. It is still in early access.
Yeah, I see that.
But it's not super expensive, and I think it's on sale. Actually, it may be off sale today. I think it was on sale for $12, which is not bad.
Yeah, over the weekend probably, because now it's back up to full price.
Okay, yeah. Brian, you've been playing Green Hell? I saw Jimbo was playing that. It looks like a survival game. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it looks very much kind of like The Forest, if you ever played that.
I didn't like The Forest.
Oh, okay.
Fair
enough. Then.
I wanted to like it, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I never played it. I bought it because me and some friends were planning to play it, and we never played it, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yep.
haven't really got around to it.
My biggest problem with The Forest was I feel like the bad guys or the cannibals or whatever show up way too early. Like they showed up on the first night for me, and
Yeah,
I didn't have any shelter built, or I didn't even know how to play the game. Basically, I feel like if they would have shown up maybe on like the third day after I'd kind of learned the game a little bit better, then that would have been a little bit more enjoyable or a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Fraternal's been playing Link's Awakening. So I really want to play Link's Awakening. I've been hearing really good things about it.
I have too.
It's tough for me to justify spending, $60 full price game on what sounds like a pretty short game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I may end up picking it up and maybe just selling it back when I finish it.
The main reason I'm hesitant to buy it is because most of the people I've seen kind of say all these amazing things about it played the original, and it's kind of that nostalgia
that's the same thing for me. Yeah, I haven't really found any reviews from people that haven't played the original, because I feel like it's getting amazing reviews, but everyone that is reviewing it has played the original, and so of course they're going to love it because it's nostalgia. Brian says that Green Hell is great. It's better than The Forest, although I see the similarities, but it feels different. Is it in early access, or is it a full release?
It just came out of early access into 1.0.
Okay, gotcha. Huh.
Which is why a bunch of people have been playing it.
I gotcha. Well, I may check it out. Fraternal. So you never played the original, and you're really enjoying it?
I am also worried about performance type stuff with Link's Awakening.
So that's weird to me. If anybody doesn't know, there's some pretty major performance issues with Link's Awakening where it runs at 60 FPS, but then just for no real reason, it will just drop to 30 FPS in certain areas.
I think it's because the game has double VSync, which
Mhm.
basically means if it's not hitting 60, it'll instantly go to 30, so it can
Yeah.
like maintain a stable frame rate.
It,
So in like some areas, it just doesn't, it can't do 60, so you have to play at 30.
and that's a pretty
Kind of
jarring issue when that happens when you go all the way from 30 to 60.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's good that you're enjoying that though, Fraternal. I think I may pick it up and check it out. All right, let's see. Let's move on. Game Boy game is too demanding. I know, right? Let's talk a little bit about the news. There's a new Total War game that was announced.
Yep. Total War Troy, I think, is the name. I kind of posted in there because I think you're kind of into that stuff, but I'm not entirely sure.
I have, I swear, I think I've played almost every single Total War game. I've never finished one though.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever played any of the Total War games?
I seem to remember having a very good time with Total War Rome 2 in particular, because it was like the only one I've ever played a whole lot.
Oh goodness, Rome 2. I've got to show you the video. Have you seen the video of what it looks like? The downgrade that that game got?
I have not seen that video. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a pretty big downgrade though, because most of the Total War games seem to have like really pretty trailers and stuff, and then when they come out, they're kind of not so pretty.
This was one of the first games. This and then like Watch Dogs came out right after this.
Oh god.
It made me so mad because so I had just kind of gotten into the Total War games, and I played Medieval 2. Was that the name of it? Medieval 2? I think that was it. And then this game came out, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this game looks amazing!" And this was like supposedly actual real gameplay from like um, PAX or something like that, and the developer was showing it, and it made me so mad. Let me show you guys. It made me so mad because they said, and this is not even the finished game yet. It'll actually look much better than this. Okay, look. This is how the game was supposed to look. Like, this game looks so good, and it looks nothing like this.
Yeah, even that water just looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like kind of the kind of level the Total War games are at nowadays.
Yeah, it only took them like 8 years.
Yeah.
I wonder if does this show what the actual game looks like? We have to find the actual.
It's definitely some frame rate drops though.
Yeah, I would have taken frame rate drops for it to look like that though. Let
Fair
me
enough.
see. All right, we got to find the actual battles. There was one good that like compared the why is this
Compared
not
to
playing?
two.
Yeah. I don't know why YouTube is having issues right now, but it looks nothing like what they showed, and it made me really sad.
Yeah, like most downgraded games.
So I'm sorry, I asked you and you may have answered, but I didn't hear you. Have you played any of the Total War games? You played Rome 2?
Yeah, Rome 2 and Total War Warhammer 1, but not very much. Mainly because, the main reason I played it was because my dad is into Warhammer a lot, and so he played it, and then I kind of wanted to play it and try it, but didn't enjoy it a whole lot
I always wanted
because
to
they're not really my
get
kind of things.
Yeah, they're hard to get into, and they're kind of confusing a lot of times for me. I always wanted to get Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 1, and there was a mod that you could like um, basically put both of those games together and play like this giant, huge campaign.
That sounds pretty
Um,
cool.
but it was, I heard it had like all kinds of performance issues and was really,
Yeah, that
really
doesn't really
janky.
surprise me.
But yeah, when do we have a release date for that?
I don't know. It says scheduled to release on PC in 2020,
Okay,
so sometime next year.
delayed to 2021.
Yeah, probably.
um, yeah, they are putting out a lot of those games. They just put out, what was it, Three
Three
Kingdoms,
Kingdoms.
and then they
Yeah.
also had like Britannica or something like that.
Yeah, Britannia.
Britannia. Um, but yeah, they seem to be selling, and they're definitely kind of a niche um, game that people that like those games really, really like those games.
Yeah. There's like one out every year, I think.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Batman stuff.
Oof, Batman. So I think these rumors first started to surface around the time of the 80th anniversary a few days ago. Because the WB Games Twitter kind of posted out that video that's going around of the bat symbol on the side of the building. But this in particular video kind of had these four flashes throughout the video of these symbols that nobody kind of had any idea what they were. Um, and obviously, because it was from WB Games and all these symbols were popping up, people kind of jumped to the conclusion that this is most likely a new game. And because it's the first time this account has tweeted in 4 years, that kind of further cemented the fact that this is probably a new Batman game.
So everyone was kind of speculating on what they were working on, right? Weren't they? Some people thinking they were working on like a Superman game.
Hmm.
Other people thinking that they were working on some other uh, comic book hero game. But it
Yeah,
sounds like they're just gonna keep doing Batman.
yeah. I think the rumor was they were going to be doing Batman, kind of the Court of Owls kind of side of things,
Mm-hmm.
which I've heard is a really good kind of comic book series and kind of fictional series of Batman. But I've never read into it a whole lot personally. But if the game is about the Court of Owls, then I hope I can kind of go into it not knowing much about it.
So, I mean, we basically know nothing about this game, but do you think that they'll kind of stick with the same formula that they've had before?
I mean, I hope so because I love the old formula. Um, I kind of just want a new Arkham game personally, and if they do something similar to that, then it'll be a day one for me.
I've never been huge on the Arkham style combat.
Hmm.
I've always thought that it looks amazing, but I've always thought it's a little too simplistic. But I know a lot of people like it. Do you think there's really much they can innovate on that type of combat, or
I think
um,
they could.
you think they've just kind of perfected it pretty much?
I think they didn't quite perfect it because I think they could definitely add more in terms of like making it more fluid and making, I guess, combat like implementing combos in a much more kind of serious or like impactful way, kind of like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry. I think
Mm,
that would be pretty cool.
now you're talking my language.
Yeah, I thought that would get you going.
A Bayonetta combat in a Batman game, that would be awesome.
Yeah, or
You
even go like the opposite way and make it more kind of visceral, gritty, impactful punches and more of a linear kind of dark story. I think that would be cool for a Batman game.
you still haven't played Bayonetta, have you?
Not all the way through.
Oh, you did
I've
start it?
I played it for like 5 hours when I first got it on PC,
Okay.
but I never beat it.
Oh man, the combat is so good in that game. Playing Astral Chain really made me want to go back and replay Bayonetta because I think Bayonetta is better. Well, no, Bayonetta is better.
Yeah, I think the only game I've played since Bayonetta that has similar combat is DMC5, and I enjoyed that quite a lot.
Yeah, it does. I know what you mean. It does kind of feel similar. There's just something about Bayonetta when you just get that perfect dodge and go, get witch time activated and learning the combos and also the number of bosses in Bayonetta 1.
Hmm.
It's almost like a boss rush. You're going through so many bosses, which I really really like, and every boss is very very unique, very different. I really like Bayonetta 1. Didn't like Bayonetta 2 as much, but Bayonetta 1 really really good.
I hope we hear more about Bayonetta 3 soon.
Me too, man. How long has it been since that was announced? Was it 2017?
It was at the Game Awards, right? So I think 2017.
I think
Yeah.
it was 2017 Game Awards, so we're coming up on 2 years.
Maybe we'll get something this year in the Game Awards.
I hope so. Platinum is working on so many things. I wish they would just
Yeah.
chill out and just work on Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, because that seems to be like the main thing that everyone wants from them at the moment.
So, going back to the Batman game, do we think that could come up in the state of play tomorrow?
I think it's pretty good timing
Yeah.
for it to do so. And seeing as there's not kind of a big event where anything like that could be announced anytime soon, I think the state of play is kind of like the place for it to be announced.
So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about the state of play. So Sony is going to have a state of play tomorrow. What time is that?
It's 9 o'clock my time, so an hour from now tomorrow.
9 p.m. your time.
Yeah, 9 p.m. my time.
So that'll be 10 p.m. Europe time, 3 p.m. my time. Okay, we might watch that on, or well, I don't know if I'll stream it, but maybe.
Yeah, because it's only like 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to watch that together in Discord?
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to hop in with us when we watch that, that would be fun. So state of play, we're almost positive that we're going to get a release date for The Last of Us 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, we know Last of Us is going to be there, and I think at this point they have to announce some kind of release window, so if not
So
an exact date.
what are your predictions?
Well, I mean, based on all the leaks, I'd say February next year.
That's what a lot of
But
people are saying.
if I had to go based on my own guess, I'd say maybe a bit later than February because of how little we've seen of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've seen quite a bit, haven't we?
I mean, we saw the initial trailer at E3 that year, and then we saw a gameplay demo the next year, and that's kind of it. There's been no kind of previews, there's not been no press events. I suppose the event tomorrow is gonna, because there's a press event where people are going to play it, so we're gonna get a lot of news from that.
Oh, people are actually going to play it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, if it's in a playable state where journalists can kind of report on it, then I guess it's probably further along than I might think.
I feel like they have. I feel like they're going to really try and hit February because March they probably don't want to go up against Final Fantasy.
Oh no, they probably don't.
I definitely don't think they want to go up against Cyberpunk in April.
No.
So I mean, unless they push it to May, which that's pretty far away.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like February is becoming such a just Q1 is becoming such a big time for games.
Yeah.
I feel like February would be a really good time. But I mean, I'm sure they're going to take all the time that they need.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I hope they take the time that they need rather than kind of pushing it out by February. And then, of course, they're going to re-release it on the new consoles, and
Yeah, perfect timing for that.
yeah.
Um, all right. Well, anything else state of play wise? I feel like I don't know. We just haven't heard much from Sony lately. Do you think we'll
No.
hear anything about Ghosts of Tsushima?
Would love to hear more about it, but I don't think we will because I'm pretty sure, or I'm pretty confident that's going to be a release title for the PS5. So, seeing as they're not talking about any next gen related stuff in this state of play, I doubt we'll hear anything about Ghosts of Tsushima.
And it's only 20 minutes, so I mean they can't really fit that much stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean they can do The Last of Us, maybe the Batman thing, and then the rest is probably going to be either
Some
updates
indie
on,
stuff.
yeah, or like stuff on Concrete Genie that's coming out, or Death Stranding, maybe. More Death Stranding.
At this point, I think we have had all the stuff that we need to have about Death Stranding.
Yeah, we've certainly had a lot.
They've already said that they're not going to say anything about new hardware.
Unfortunately, yeah. When do you think we will first hear about?
That's what I was just about to ask. I don't know. I feel like. Do you think Sony is going to be at E3 next year?
I think it would be very silly for them not to go to E3 unless they are planning their own big new event.
I feel like they're going to.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to have their own event.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like early next year. And I can see them, as much as I would hate it, I can see them skipping E3 again, especially if they do their own event and they have these state of plays now. But I can totally see them doing their own event, maybe even like a PSX style event,
Yeah.
where they show off the new hardware, start to show off a bunch of new games, and they may not need to go to E3. I mean, I would love to see them there, and I would love to see them do a press conference and all of that, but I don't know if they do their own events and the state of plays, they may not need to.
Yeah, it's just a shame because E3 has kind of always been that big event leading up to new consoles where
Yeah.
everything awesome is announced and new games are announced and whatever else, and it just sucks that it's all being spread out across their own exclusive kind of events and stuff.
Have they even said like specifically that next gen console will be out next year?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed somewhere, especially as Xbox has announced the Scarlet.
Yeah.
Kind of set the 2020 release date.
I mean, I'm sure that they are going to do that. I just couldn't remember if they specifically said, holiday 2020. But I feel like they have to.
Yeah, Sony hasn't said anything because they've been very quiet about it all, but Xbox has definitely confirmed Scarlet for holiday 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be surprised if PlayStation wait longer than Xbox.
Next year is going to be a interesting year.
Yeah, it's going to be bonkers.
It's going to be exciting. Anything state of play or anything else state of play that we think might happen?
I think in terms of predictions, just indie stuff, because maybe like ports, maybe like a remaster of an old game. I don't know.
Demon Souls remake.
Oh my god, I would take that.
Bluepoint is working on something. Bluepoint is the developer that everyone thinks will do a Demon Souls remake, if they even do a Demon Souls remake. And we know that they've been working on something for quite a while.
Yeah, because they're the ones who did the Shadow of the Colossus remake, right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
That would make sense. Because if they brought Demon Souls out on PS4, then it's kind of like all FromSoft games are available on PS4. That would be kind of like a thing they could do.
Oh, that would be amazing.
It would be. Seeing as, especially as I've never played Demon Souls, I'd love to have a remake or remaster of some kind.
Demon Souls at 60 FPS and maybe like a few kind of quality of life adjustments, I think would be really, really cool.
Yeah, I'd be very excited for that.
Yeah, so we'll check that out tomorrow. See what happens.
Yeah,
I'm excited
excited.
for it. Let's see what else. I know French posted a few things in Discord. Let's see. Oh yeah, there was the news about Control. They were paid $10 million, roughly $10 million for the Epic exclusivity.
I saw
Um,
that.
that's pretty crazy. Their budget
Yeah,
was what, 30 million, I think, between
I think
20
it
and 30
was.
million dollars.
Yeah, that's what they said. They didn't give an exact amount.
And people wonder why all these games are going to Epic for exclusivity.
Yeah,
That's why. I mean, that's not even that big of a game, you know? Can you just imagine what Borderlands was paid for that?
man, I don't even want to know the number.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about that. You know, I hate exclusivity. I don't think anybody likes exclusivity except for publishers.
Yeah,
Um, it is what it is. I don't think that this is probably going to last too long. All this stuff, I
I
think
hope
that it'll start to work itself out. I mean, competition is good, you know, but at the same time, exclusives are not very good.
Yeah, it's like competition's good, but if the competition starts to become a detriment to the consumer's kind of experience, then I don't think it's like the competition's gone too far,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
You can get Squash. You can get a free copy of Code Vein,
If I lived in San Diego, yeah.
and all you have to do is just donate blood.
Yeah. Well, I would, but
This
fortunately, I don't
is
live in America.
French says keep in mind that 10 million was not a normal payout. It's a sales advance, so Control is not going to produce any revenue until it gets 10 million worth of sales. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And also, I read somewhere, I can't remember the exact number, but Remedy did not get that 10 million. That was the publisher, and then the publisher I think paid like, I want to say like 30% of that. It wasn't a whole lot. It's kind of
Hmm.
a shame. Um but yeah, this is such a weird promotion. I don't know if I've ever seen this
Yeah,
weird of a promotion that you can donate blood and get a free copy of Code Vein.
pretty cool though.
Yeah, this is only at TwitchCon though, right?
Yeah, because TwitchCon's in San Diego, I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you're in San Diego, donate some blood, get a free copy of Code Vein.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Brian says, "I do not see exclusivity as competition. I see it as isolation from competition." Yeah, no, I completely agree. Exclusivity is not competition, but you know, having another store and having another option and places to buy things is competition, and I think that's what Epic eventually wants to make happen, and they're just trying to get users right now,
Hmm.
and they're just doing it a very scummy way of doing it.
Yeah, it's
But
unfortunate.
yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
Not much we can do about it.
Yep. Honestly, that's a beautiful promotion. I know, right? French says I got those numbers wrong, the wrong way around. Oh, 45 for Remedy. Okay.
Hmm.
That's still a lot of money for the publisher.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else news-wise that we have? I can't think of
Uh,
anything.
no, there hasn't really been a ton the last week. I think this next week's going to be bigger for sure.
I think we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. I will probably play some Link's Awakening. Definitely going to play The Surge 2, which releases in just a few hours, actually.
Yep.
Um, we'll go through the rest of the releases here in just a minute. You want to talk about anything you've been watching?
Yeah. Have you ever seen Between Two Ferns, like the internet
I
show?
Yeah, I used to watch that all the time.
Yeah. So I personally love Zach Galifianakis He's like my favorite in all the Hangover films. And he's just a pretty funny comedian, in my opinion. And so I didn't discover Between Two Ferns till maybe a few weeks ago when I saw kind of the movie
Oh wow.
advertisement. So I got to watch all of those for the first time, kind of in a row, and that was hilarious. It
It
was
was,
in no way what I expected.
yeah, it was just so weird when it first started coming out because like it was such a serious tone and everyone was like, is this guy serious? Is he?
Yeah.
Because Zach Galifianakis was not nearly as popular or well known back then when they first started doing that. I don't think
Mhm.
that like he had even done The Hangover at this point. I'm pretty sure that was way
I don't
before
think
that.
so. Yeah,
Yeah, so Netflix made a movie about this.
they did. It's like a 85 minutes long, I think. And there's like all sorts of celebrities show up in it, and he makes fun of every single one. And it's not obviously like the best movie,
Is it just
but
like a series of episodes, or like is there actually a plot
no,
to it or anything?
there is like an actual plot. So
Okay.
basically, unless you're gonna watch it, I won't like spoil the plot. It's not really much to spoil.
Yeah.
Um, but he basically wants his own late night talk show. And Will Ferrell says he has to like in 2 weeks he has to make 10 Between Two Ferns episodes. And he doesn't have his office, so he has to basically drive across the country to find 10 different celebrities to record these episodes with. And so he like gets Brie Larson on, John Legend, Benedict Cumberbatch, all sorts of people. Keanu Reeves comes on at one point. Matthew
Really?
McConaughey's in there. It's insane.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
It is really, really good. And make sure you watch all the way through the credits because they do outtakes of all the interviews and some like deleted scenes, and it's hilarious.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Let's see. What have I been watching? I watched Rocky, the movie Rocky. I love
Oh yeah,
Rocky.
I've never seen it personally. I
Oh
should
my
watch it
goodness.
though. I know, I know. My dad says,
Oh, are you still there? Can you hear
yeah,
me,
it cut out
Squash?
for a second. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good.
Yeah, Rocky's really good. They have all of them on Netflix now, at least in the US. I also watched Speed.
Hmm.
Have you seen Speed?
I've heard of
Keanu
it, but I
Reeves.
haven't seen it.
Oh man, that movie holds up incredibly well. It's just a really good, solid action movie. Just
Hmm.
like nonstop, just perfect from the start to the beginning. I really love that movie. Um, Speed was directed by a Dutch filmmaker. Oh, interesting. What else have I watched? I watched some Full House.
I've never heard of it, but okay.
You've never heard of Full House? Oh my
Nah,
goodness! It was
it might be an
this.
American thing.
Yeah, probably. It was this early '90s sitcom about this family. Just like your typical, just kind of sitcom about the family.
Hmm.
That's pretty much it. I haven't watched a whole lot.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've been meaning to watch Hereditary because that's on Amazon Prime
I
Video, and
saw
I still
that.
have.
I need to watch that too. I've heard that that movie is extremely disturbing.
Yeah, which is why I want to watch it because I've been in the mood for horror recently, and I need to watch The Thing because that's on my Netflix list, and I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Have you seen anything about the movie Ad Astra?
I've heard, I've kind of seen stuff on Twitter about the critics reviewing it well and the audience not reviewing it well, but I haven't really seen much on the movie itself.
I hadn't heard anything about this movie until just like the other day. It looks
Hmm.
really, really good though.
It's like Brad Pitt in space, right?
Yeah, it kind of looks like Interstellar a little bit. I think
Hmm.
the basic plot is Brad Pitt's father went into space and was working on like some kind of secret project, and then he disappeared, and
Hmm.
now Brad Pitt is going to look for him or something like that.
Oh, okay.
French, you heard Brad Pitt has a terrible CGI beard. What?
Is it as bad as Henry Cavill's mustache in
Oh goodness.
whatever film it was?
Are you gonna see the new Joker movie?
Oh, I'm really excited to see Joker. There's literally a theater just around the corner from where my college is, so uh, one day after college, I'm probably gonna like miss a couple buses to go and see Joker, and then catch a late bus.
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that seems to be getting really good reviews from early screenings.
Yeah.
Anything else entertainment movie wise?
They just added, at least to the UK one, they put Blade Runner 2049 on Netflix with 4K support.
Really?
So I might have to rewatch that.
It's a good movie.
Yep, it sure is. And in 4K, it's probably even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're on a 1080p, watch it in 4K.
If that's even possible.
Brian, you think the Joker film honestly looks amazing? Yeah, I think it looks good too. Joker won a Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. When is that release? Is it early October?
4th, I think. Yeah. Same day as the new Ghost Recon.
Yeah, Breakpoint. I'm excited for that game too.
I am too, to be honest.
Are you going to...
Yeah, I'm going to get the Uplay Plus.
That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to mention. If anybody has Amazon Prime and you have a Nintendo Switch, you have 1 week left to claim your free year of Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, that's an awesome deal.
It's a really good deal. It's kind of weird how you have to do it. You have to go and claim it, and then you have to come back 3 months later and then like reclaim another 9 months. I guess so. Weird. Like you can't, just sign up for the free trial of Amazon Prime and then get it again, or just get the full year of it. Let's see. I'm just looking through anything else before we go to releases. I don't see anything else. Let's go ahead and run through the releases. What is today? The 23rd.
Yep.
Nothing comes out today. All right. Tomorrow, though, we have some big stuff. Dead by Daylight comes out on the Switch. Of course, The Surge 2 comes out. I'm very excited for that. Cat Quest 2. Never played Cat Quest, but I heard a lot of people liked that.
Yeah. Aspire 1 comes out. That's a VR game that looks pretty good.
Okay.
It's like a Splinter Cell VR, basically.
Ooh. I like Splinter Cell. Let's see. I don't know what Noita? I don't even know how you say that.
I've been seeing stuff about that recently, but I haven't actually looked at it. It's like a pixel art platformer type thing. It's a roguelite, apparently.
Well, there's plenty of those out.
Yeah. Almost too many.
We've got The Executioner for PC. Executioner puts you in the shoes of a man who tortures people for a living. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that sounds grim.
Yep.
I'm going to skip some of these things. Repressed. What is Repressed? Repressed is a puzzle adventure game in which you travel through your memories, play as a shadow that's on a journey inside your mind, find answers to the questions bothering you, navigate the maze that is your memory, and ease your mind in the process. It sounds interesting. I'm not sure about the art style though.
That game Flotsam that comes out on the 26th looks like it might be your kind of thing. It's like Frostpunk, but on the sea.
Oh, I think I've heard about this. Yeah, this is coming out in early access.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, that looks interesting. It looks, the art style looks like Borderlands.
Yeah,
Cell
kind
shaded.
of cell shaded. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pretty
Northgard.
sure.
Northgard's good. That's coming out. That's been out on PC for a while. That's coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Hmm.
Darksiders 2 is coming out on Switch. Lots of games coming out on Switch.
Yeah, Dragon Quest on Switch.
Oh, that's right. Dragon Quest 11S. The
Hmm.
Echoes of an Elusive Age. Did you see? It doesn't look great on Switch, though.
I haven't looked at it. I downloaded the demo, but I haven't started it up
I
yet.
did too. Yeah, there was a comparison video that I watched that it actually looks worse than PC on the lowest settings.
Oof, that's
Yeah.
not a good sign.
But hey, it's on Switch, so
Yeah,
that's
just like The Witcher.
yeah. Speaking of Dragon Quest, the original 2 and 3 are all coming to Switch as well.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
We have Code Vein, which is kind of the anime Dark Souls. That's coming out on the 27th. Go donate
still
some
kinda
blood, get a
skeptical
free
about
copy. I am too. I played. Did you play the newest demo?
I did on the console, yeah.
There's one on Steam too, I think, right?
Really? I didn't know there was one on Steam.
Is there? Maybe I'm just losing my mind. I thought I
can't see
played
one.
that. Maybe I didn't. I could have sworn that I played this on PC. You know what I think it was? I think they had it running at 60 FPS on the PS4, so
It definitely wasn't 30, I know that.
yeah. It felt way better than the early beta that I played.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Um,
I think my main gripe with it at the moment is how kind of floaty the weapons feel. Like they don't feel impactful.
yeah, the combat is still just needs a little work, I think. But I didn't think it was terrible.
No, I definitely
Um,
think the Surge 2 will be better though.
Ori and the Blind Forest comes out for Switch. Prepare yourself to cry like a baby at the beginning of that game.
Yep.
And let's see, September 30th. Oh well, that's Monday, so we'll save those for next week.
Mhm.
So I think that's pretty much it.
Yep.
I think the big things for this week for me, and I think you two, are going to be the Surge 2.
Yeah.
I definitely want to check out Code Vein. I'll probably wait on a sale for that. That feels
Yeah,
like a
I will
title that could come to Game Pass, doesn't it?
It does, honestly. I agree.
Speaking of Game Pass, Bloodstained is out on Game Pass
I saw
now,
that.
and there was something else that came out.
Shadow Warrior 2 came out.
Shadow Warrior
Game
2.
Pass.
Yeah, that's a fun game. Yeah, Game Pass is such a good deal.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us. Anything else that we have?
No, I think this was kind of just a slow week.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Squash, thank you as always for doing this with me.
No worries.
And yeah, we'll be back next week. Talk some more about this. All right.
I'm excited.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Oh no, Koala just got here. Koala, I'm so sorry. Bye, guys. I'll be back tonight to stream some more. Oh, I might play the Surge. But anyway, until then, I'll see you guys.